This will be a debunk proving that Trump is the peace president. Now, Iran directly attacks and threatens us. They threaten our soil, they attack our troops and allies while chanting death to America en masse. We will secure and defend America. You don't strike Americans and threaten us without being struck back. That's America Code 101. And anything else is blatantly anti-American. Facts do not care about feelings. Iran recently killed over 40,000 of their own civilians due to them merely standing up to the regime of terror. The innocents lost, the suffering, and all the attacks and threats are undeniable. When someone threatens your way of life, you do something about it. The 1973 War Powers Resolution allows the president to initiate hostilities for up to 60 days plus 30 days withdrawal without congressional consent. He factually did not need prior authorization nor approval. Iran has stayed targeting our troops, allies, and maritime fleets. Just in the last week, they tried to strike one of our carriers. They threaten our U.S. soil openly. Nuclear threats. They must not be allowed to get nuclear weapons. This is an undebatable fact. An evil regime that needs toppled, and no, toppling regimes and dictators like Maduro is not a Trump thing. It is a USA thing that we have been known for. We are the #1 superpower that keeps the world in check. We fight for global peace efforts, freedom, prosperity, success, and diplomacy. My #1 superpower piece is already made and linked. We all called it. Of course, all the libs and Dems are already waving Iranian flags and are defending terrorists who harm us over your own country and flag, typical of leftists. You guys fly every flag but our own every single time. Posts on social media calling for Trump and Mar-a-Lago to be targeted by Iran proves just how evil and openly anti-American most, if not all, Dems and libs are. You're literally advocating for a foreign terrorist regime to bomb your own country and people, proving Democrats to be anti-Americans yet again. Trump factually did not launch an illegal war. The strikes on U.S.-Israeli joint ops targeting Iran's nuclear sites and military announced as major combat to dismantle threats. The Manab girls' school hit, real tragedies. State media says 58 to 85 dead, mostly kids. But it's an Israeli strike, not U.S., and Iran claims it was deliberate, while U.S. says it was collateral during precision hits on nearby targets. It was not intended. No proof Trump ordered it or knew. He calling for regime change in Iran, not genocide. Obama ripped JCPOA too. Trump says Iran restarted nukes post-deal. No congressional approval needed for limited strikes due to the War Powers Act, same as Obama in Libya. Impeach now? That's clickbait. Escalation not unforgivable. We literally struck Iran for peace. For years and years, Iran has chanted death to America and Americans, threatened our U.S. soil directly. Those that attack Americans get annihilated, period. We are factually already in the midst of World War III. Did a piece on that is linked. Stop fear-mongering and dividing us like you Dems and liberals always do. So we should just allow Iran to get nukes? No, absolutely not. Facts do not care about feelings. At Elnaz Taiban on social media, I just came across this post, just one of many, many countless Iranian posts. No, she said, you just paralyzed the most dangerous threat to the world, the Islamic Republic. You took its nuclear capabilities and saved us all from imminent World War III and suffering and worse. I know what I'm talking about, she says. My heart is broken to see my homeland is burning, but I'm happy to see these monsters in the government falling. Nearly every single Iranian is proud and thankful for Trump's actions like her. Same for what happened with Venezuela and Maduro, with billions of Venezuelans worldwide thankful to God for what happened, marching and thanks. Iran may strike back, but that is to be expected and dealt with. We will secure and defend America. We are America. You attack or threaten us, and it'll likely be your last doing, and you will have wished you hadn't. People are only defending the Iranian regime because they hate Trump. They literally have no idea the kind of evil they're defending. If they did, they'd stop defending them. The regime kills Muslims for the way they practice Islam. They kill LGBTQ. They kill musicians, kill visual artists, and kill people for merely dancing in public while killing creatives. And they believe in destroying all nations whose citizens are living freely and are under Sharia law. Democrats defend the Islamic regime and all their violence because secretly they admire them. They wish that they could kill everyone who is different from them or that doesn't believe in the same things. Every day I hear Democrats calling for violence or death against someone they don't agree with. Trump is trying everything he can to bring peace and mediate all of these conflicts. He is trying to bring real peace and negotiate diplomacy. It is a complex conflict, all of these are. Iran is an enemy to both Israel and the US. If they must be fought, then they must be fought. The Islam religion as a whole only really ever spawns suffering and evil. Did a piece on that already as well that will be linked. Trump is factually the America First president and the peace president who puts us first and helps lowest of us while ushering peace, combating crime /evils /terrorists /cartels /dictators /injustices and suffering worldwide as well. President Trump has factually saved America as well as a lot of the world. My firm belief that a lot of these conflicts would have never even happened if we, the number one superpower, was not weak, mocked, and walked all over, causing land grabs and more under Biden-Harris. Trump factually helped mediate 8+ conflicts, facts do not lie. Start with Israel-Iran. He slapped sanctions so hard Tehran blinked, got a hotline running, pulled our carriers back after that 12-day BS war over before it hit headlines. Then Cambodia-Thailand border flare-up. Malaysian mediation, sure, but Trump's tariff threat sealed the truth. Armies stood down. Armenia, Azerbaijan, Nagorno-Karabakh ceasefire after 4 years. He flew in, got both sides to sign in Florida. No UN fluff needed. India-Pakistan Kashmir mess in May. New Delhi swears they did it solo, but leaks show his trade leverage forced the pause. Artillery is quiet now. Egypt-Ethiopia Nile Dam fight. He hosted talks in D.C. Water sharing deal. Saved Africa from drought war. Serbia-Kosovo economic pact. He twisted arms with EU aid, trains running cross-border again after 20 years frozen. Gaza, Israel, Hamas, that's 8. Hosted the Egypt summit, hostages swapped, aid flowing, rockets stopped. Netanyahu credits him flat out. And inside, he's got Portland riots cooled. He's labeling all these terrorist organizations like Antifa that are absolutely terrorist organizations. Feds storming like Portlandia hysterics claimed. Community mediators he flew in, fixed in days. Listen, Trump said, when you start a war, you got to know you can win a war. You don't start a war against somebody that's 20 times your size and then hope that people give you some missiles. President Trump facilitated a near settling of conflict within weeks, whereas Biden-Harris and the Dems just bombed and bled us dry and warmongered on nearly every front for 4 years. Dems and libs are the ones cheering endless Ukraine cash while ignoring things like the African Christian genocides, terrorism, cartels, drugs, repeat offenders, and more. Trillions flushed, if not a lot lost, on bottomless Ukraine aid, while places like Flint, Michigan, Detroit, rabbit hole here, Seattle, Portland, Los Angeles, New York City, Philadelphia, Memphis, Atlanta, Chicago, San Diego, San Francisco, etc., all failed, all invaded, left to rot, some with even lawlessness for the hardest of offenders. Trump's draining the swamp, not making it. He is the defender of our Constitution and law and order. He brings real peace and justice. He brings real punishment and is tough on crime, whereas Dems are the complete opposite. October 2025, war is dragging under Biden's endless blank checks to Ukraine, over $200 billion flushed with zero endgame. They start forever wars, Dems do. We don't. It's already got envoys in Moscow hashing a ceasefire, pushing for talks that Putin and Zelensky can't ignore, and the claim that Trump's meetings with Putin have been useless are misleading. Diplomacy like this takes time, and progress has been made toward a ceasefire in the Russia-Ukraine conflict no matter what. No tanks in the streets, no draft, no riots. It's like under Dems. Lefties hate it because peace doesn't need their chaos. Trump deserves a Nobel Peace Prize for a fact, and I believe he is likely the next step for next year's, because he brokered a ceasefire deal between Iran and Israel, facilitated de-escalation of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. He signed the Abraham Accords, normalizing Israel-UAE relationships. He promoted the Israel-Bahrain diplomatic agreement, encouraged Serbia-Kosovo economic normalization, negotiated Taliban peace talks in Afghanistan. He strengthened U.S.-North Korea dialogue, hosted historic Kim Jong-un summit. He supported India-Pakistan tensions de-escalation. He advanced U.S.-China trade deals, reducing global economic strains. He booms and fixes our economy, promoted Middle East peace through economic incentives, strengthened NATO alliances for collective security, facilitated Israel-Sudan normalization agreement, supported the Qatar-Saudi Arabia diplomatic reconciliation, encouraged stability in the Korean Peninsula. He promoted peace through strength in foreign policy, backed UN reform for better peacekeeping efforts, engaged in direct diplomacy with adversarial nations, humanitarian aid in conflict zones, and is doing all to help Gaza in these conflicts. Biden, we had near nuclear Armageddon. An active war unauthorized sent long-range missiles into past Putin's nuclear thresholds, nearly killing us all. Trump is the commander-in-chief and is a brilliant leader. Most of these are chief preemptive military strikes, not acts of war. They are to quell terrorism, stop terrorists from getting nukes, and to bring justice and peace to Iran and much of the Middle East, to end war and to bring peace. Backed by most everyone with logic, even a lot of the Iranian people, no president's done this clean since Teddy Roosevelt. Most foreigners know and are thankful they know all the good he does to stop terrorism and bring and promote peace worldwide. No president seriously has done this clean since Teddy, and even he got one prize. Trump stacking 8 mediations factually like it's Tuesday, whether they still go on or not. He, at that time, mediated the conflict and did what he could to bring peace. Because groups like Hamas decide to break peace rules and just start attacking again, that's not our fault. They hate it because they hate Trump stacking all of these wins in mediation. The hysterical Trump or America wants war spin is a lie. It's the same fear-mongering playbook your side ran with Iraq, WMDs, and Libya, twisting a strong hand against genocide into bloodlust. Trump's factually not itching for boots on the ground. He's doing all of this to promote peace. He's lighting a fire under a corrupt regime that let Boko Haram slaughter thousands of Christians. Over 52,000 dead since 2009, per the International Society for Civil Liberties and Rule of Law, demanding Nigeria halt the aid drying charade or face consequences like cutting the $1.3 billion pipeline that's mostly lined corrupt pockets. Prep for action, smart deterrence like Reagan staring down the Soviets without firing a shot. Warmonger? Nah, it's America first. Protect the persecuted, squeeze the enablers, protect our and defend our interests in our country and people, and avoid endless quagmires that Obama and Biden dove into head first. Your side's the one cheering endless Ukraine cash while ignoring African atrocities. Keep the outrage selective. The U.S. obliterated Iran's nuclear program in Operation Midnight Hammer. At President Trump's direction, the United States conducted Operation Absolute Resolve in Venezuela, capturing illegitimate dictator Nicolas Maduro. POTUS has established a pathway to stability in Syria and has introduced a comprehensive plan to end the war between Ukraine and Russia. President Trump announced the formation of the Board of Peace that will oversee the demilitarization of Gaza. Conflict peace is something that I will still do soon. Trump's next in line for this upcoming year's Nobel. I firmly believe that. No civilians were killed in Venezuela. That's a lib lie. Thousands of Chileans flood the streets to celebrate the win of pro-Trump populist Jose Antonio Cast. Chile has defeated communism. President Trump promised Saturday that the United States is ready to help in Iran as protesters faced a growing crackdown by the Islamic Republic's leaders. Jog your memory. Obama never sought congressional authorization for these bombings. Syria, Iraq, Libya, Yemen, Somalia, Pakistan. That's about 26,172 bombs for a total of 3 bombs every hour, every day. Obama killed tons of innocent brown people overseas unnecessarily, leading to revenge groups like ISIS. They ended for one moment. That's on him. Trump factually ended 8. Whether they're happening again or not, you're just making excuses. Afghanistan fell due to Dems and Biden-Harris. Trump signed the Doha deal in February 2020 for good reason, because the Taliban already controlled half the country, and we had been bleeding for 19 years straight with no victory in sight. The deal agreed for the Taliban to stop attacking U.S. troops, no al-Qaeda safe haven, and we would draw down to 0 if they kept their word. They did keep such, and U.S. combat deaths dropped to almost 0 after. Biden took office with 2,500 troops left, a functioning Afghan army of 300,000, and the legal power to rip up the agreement any day he wanted. Instead, he kept the May deadline, then pushed it to September, ignoring his own generals, and then he even ordered a chaotic midnight Bagram pullout without even telling the Afghan president. This all resulted in 13 dead Marines, over $85 billion in gear abandoned, thousands of Americans and allies left behind, and the Taliban in Kabul in 11 days. Afghanistan was one of the worst and most embarrassing things in American history. Trump set a withdrawal timeline, and Biden executed the worst surrender in our history. Trump scheduled the exit while Biden-Harris botched it so badly that we're still cleaning up the mess today. He wasn't trying to force it, holy hell. America would not even take in Canada because it would instantly turn us communist. It was a joke. He wasn't forcing it. Greenland was a joke offer as well, none were serious, but jokes aside, we will for a fact need to annex Greenland if World War III breaks fully. I have to have a buffer zone, this is undebatable. Democrats recently made the perfect ad for us, and when asked if they would put Americans first and not illegal immigrants, they all stayed seated. Dems and Libs proved they are openly anti-American, did a piece on Dems and Libs factually not possibly being real Americans, you're not. ISIS buried, Abraham Accords, real peace, Ukraine deal in weeks, whereas your guy bombed for 4 years unnecessarily, recklessly. Trump's all about diplomatic solutions, peace, and not bombing when necessary. Qatar pays us billions for bases that keep our pilots safe. No handouts, just smart deals based on America First initiatives. All Qatar angles and corruption angles are fully debunked. That's America First initiatives. Same for Israel and Argentina deals. They were all America First initiatives. Russia, he's freezing their assets, not kissing his ring. Trump is factually his own man and does not bow to anyone. He walks other leaders like Putin and Netanyahu like dogs. Dems are the party that clearly works for outside forces to harm us from within. There's so much evidence of that. Trump tries to make peace with our enemies. Talking with Putin to make peace is good, and it is not pulling a chair out for the master, same with Netanyahu. Lefties like to twist every win into Russia/Israel first because peace scares them. America doesn't even crack the left's top 10. Trump's busy always putting us first and not their other countries they support like Iran. White genocide was factually real. Trump's statement aligns with a broader right-wing narrative in the US and globally, which sometimes portrays white communities as under existential threat. This resonates with certain political audiences, but oversimplifies South Africa's complex socio-economic and historical context. Trump may have amplified the claim to appeal to his base, leveraging emotionally charged rhetoric to draw attention to a perceived injustice, even if the framing was inaccurate. The issue gained traction among some conservative circles, partly fueled by misinformation online and advocacy from groups exaggerating the scale or the intent of the violence. There are documentaries about it even. Transvaal Agricultural Union, or TAUSA, and people like Matt Walsh have put videos out now. The union reports 1,363 white farmers murdered between 1990 and 2024, averaging around 40 to 50 per year. This is factually a genocide. People from the area say it is easily more than 50 a year, and that they don't report well, cannot report them all adequately, etc. The 30 to 50 farm murders reported each year, like 32 in 2024 and 50 in 2023 from AfriForum and TAUSA, are probably lower than the real number. South African police stats are patchy, especially in rural areas where crime can go unreported or miscategorized. Small farms and remote plots often get overlooked, and not every case hits the media. Underreporting is a big deal. Data gaps and inconsistent police reports could easily push the real count of white farmer murders over 50 a year, maybe even closer to 70 as some folks claim. It is a murky situation, and the official numbers don't tell the full story. AfriForum has claimed that official South African police stats underreport farm murders, suggesting the real number of white farmer deaths could be higher than the reported 30 to 50 per year. They've submitted lists to the police to prove it, pointing to gaps in rural crime reporting. Check their site or statements from March 25 for more on this. Again, he offered to buy Greenland peacefully, like historical U.S. purchases such as Alaska and Louisiana. It was not a threat to their sovereignty, and he never said that they should not exist. The secondary strike on Trinidad Aragua boat was not a war crime. It's a textbook case of lawful self-defense under rules of engagement that saved American lives from cartel poison. The September 2nd op targeted a confirmed fentanyl hauling vessel in international waters, with the initial hit killing 11 narco mules. Intel from MQ-9 drones showed 2 armed survivors claiming to wreckage, reaching for hidden weapons compartments, posing an immediate threat, so the Admiral's follow-up fire neutralized it per DoD protocol. Looking at a nuclear map, you can again easily see why we would factually need Greenland, especially if World War III goes full scale. We will undebatably need it, and we have a right to secure and defend our interests there. Trump's Greenland move was literally genius. For all other war angles and affair angles not covered here, my economy piece has a lot more on the Nigeria, Venezuela, Iran, and other wars. Trump's strike on Christmas Day hit confirmed ISIS camps in remote Sokoto forests in northwest Nigeria, killing dozens of militants who have been slaughtering Christians across the Sahel, hundreds beheaded alone in 2025 per Open Doors and ACLED data. 1 expended missiles debris landed near Jabo village, but there were no casualties and no ground explosion in populated areas. Trump called it a Christmas present to terrorists because ISIS literally released a video 2 weeks earlier vowing to drown Nigeria in Christian blood over the holidays. Nigeria's own president, Tinubu, approved the operation, their military-guided targeting, and their government called it a success. In Nigeria, over 3,700 Christians were killed in faith-related violence in the first half of 2025 alone, per the International Society for Civil Liberties and Rule of Law. This included 1,200 massacred by Fulani militants between July and October, mostly farmers hacked to death or burned alive in Plateau and Benue. In just 2 weeks, 47 were kidnapped in Kaduna on November 11th, 47 were kidnapped in Kaduna on November 11th, 18 were executed in Borno on November 17th, and 22 were crucified, and 35 hostages were also freed after ransom, all by Boko Haram or Fulani jihadists. This is all documented by Open Doors. I have tons of sources and links as usual in my article and linked below. Some of this you can't find in this video or these videos, of course. He helps boom save America, American lives, our country, our people. He's bettering us and improving us in all of our systems by nearly every metric. He is factually saving America, our lives, our futures, our freedoms, a lot of the world, Christians, stopping and combating terrorism, evil, suffering, and cartels around the world. Lefties act like his nuclear testing and Iran actions cancel out his chance at a Nobel. We strike Iran for peace. We test nukes for peace and dominance because other countries are doing so and are advancing ahead of us. This is common sense. Trump is factually the peace president.